Now he's saying that he's not even accountable to the courts because he and the billionaire class have gotten together and said, don't worry, no one on the Republican side in the House and Senate who control both the House and Senate is going to speak up and challenge us.
We fixed the glitch.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Vary. That's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And term limits, term limits, term limits, term limits. We need term limits. I'll say it again. Term limits, please, now. But it's not likely to happen because term limits would have to be written in by the people who said term limits would affect. And nobody likes to write themselves out of a job, right? So we're going to have so many instances. Again, here we're going to show you Mitch McConnell. We're going to show you Nancy Pelosi. That was Rep. John Larson from Connecticut yesterday, freezing up on the floor while making a speech. Nobody knows what happened. He's saying it was due to a side effect to medication. I'm not a doctor, but he's 76 years old. I don't want that happening regardless of what it was. If he's on medication that's doing that to him, he shouldn't be a representative in United States Congress. It's time to retire. And there's nothing wrong with retiring. Everybody gets old. I'm not trying to make this about age, because some people respond differently to age. Look at Donald Trump, for instance. As I said many times in his channel, he has more energy than probably anybody on the planet. Everybody reacts differently, but we need term limits because we just can't have this happening, because most people do not respond well as they're in their 70s and into their 80s. McConnell and Pelosi are in their 80s. They have absolutely zero business being in power. Joe Biden, absolutely no business being in power. So would this possibly affect somebody like Donald Trump in Congress that has energy and could do it? Yes, it could. It might disqualify somebody like that. But at the same time, it is the exception. The person like Donald Trump is the rare exception who at the age of 78, 79, 80 can do what he does. It's unheard of. So I would like to play it safe and be at 65, you're done. 20-year limit, you're done. 18 years in the Senate, that's 3 terms. 20 years in the House, that's 10 terms. Isn't that enough? Is that not enough? Our founding fathers didn't envision people coming into office and having to be carried out. That's not how they envisioned it. They envisioned you would run for office to do a service, to serve your country. You would accomplish what you wanted to, and you would move on and go back to your farm or whatever else you were doing back then. They didn't envision this. They were brilliant geniuses, but they couldn't see everything. And now it's come to the point where we have these people making it a complete life. I mean, never leaving, getting in their 30s or 40s and being in there till their 60s, 70s, 80s. It's insane. So without any further ado, we'll show you what's going on. We have Nancy Pelosi, we have Mitch McConnell, and now we have, at the end, we'll get to Representative John Larson. Let's go. All right, so here we have Nancy Pelosi using 2 canes because she broke her hip taking a fall in Luxembourg. This might as well be out of a nursing home. Like she's walking from a nursing home to the car to go visit her grandchildren. But no, this is leaving Congress, where she's in charge of many important things. It's ridiculous. Here's Mitch McConnell. After he fell again, he's fallen a few times. And this is him leaving after a day at the Senate in a wheelchair.
How are you feeling, Leader McConnell?
He's not going to answer you. This is elder abuse. All right, so there you had Mitch McConnell in his wheelchair trying to get into his vehicle. You had Nancy Pelosi walking with 2 canes, needs help to get into her vehicle. And why the hell are these guys standing around like they're like nobody? They don't want anybody to see. I mean, I understand these people need a certain amount of protection, but we are allowed to see what's going on with the people who represent us, are we not? Hey guys, if you're still watching, I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like button right now. Subscribe. I do one video a day at least. If I don't do one video, it's because of circumstances that were beyond my control and I couldn't get it done. But please like, share, and subscribe and help me grow this channel. I appreciate it. Let's see Mitch McConnell's other episodes that he's had very recently when he just froze up while trying to give just a statement at a microphone behind a podium. Just stuff these guys have to do on a daily basis, especially when at the time you were the minority leader in the Senate. This is a daily task that you have to do, and he can't do it any longer. Let's go.
Finishing the NDA this week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
How would you feel if this was your grandfather or your father? Do these people's families have any shame whatsoever? Or
Let's go back to your office. You want to say anything else to the press?
again, elder abuse?
I'll take that. Let's go back to you.
Go ahead, John.
But at the same time, they're doing things running our country. And here's his next episode.
What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
what are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
It's actually, it's horrible. It's sad.
I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator.
Any other job, you'd be removed because they'd say, you need to go see a doctor. You need to get this figured out. And you know what? It's time to pack it in. But our government, you know, no wonder why we're $36 trillion in debt.
okay.
So there again, Mitch McConnell, there again. Really? Like I said, if that was your grandfather or your father or even just somebody you cared about, wouldn't you say, like, that's enough? This is not dignified. Besides the fact that he's in charge of a lot of important things, it's not dignified. What are we doing? Anyway, now let's go on to Representative John Larson and the episode he had yesterday while speaking on the House floor.
President Trump says that he's just going to ignore the courts because he believes that he's above the law, Mr. Speaker, that he's not accountable to anyone. And now he's saying that he's not even accountable to the courts because he and the billionaire class have gotten together and said, don't worry, no one on the Republican side in the House and Senate who control both the House and Senate is going to speak up and challenge us.
And nobody's coming over to him to see if he's all right, which is bizarre to me. I'm thinking he lost his dentures when I first saw this, but now they're saying he had an adverse
but we
reaction
need to
to medication.
protect Americans' privacy and their social security. For 40%.
Everybody's sitting there like this is normal. What is everybody doing? Call a doctor. Are you kidding me? Everybody's sitting there. If you saw this, wouldn't you be like, wait, hey, buddy, are you all right? Why don't you take a seat? You know, let's get him some water. Take a seat. Relax for a minute. Let's call a doc. Let's call an ambulance. I mean, really? This isn't normal. That's not normal.
Of all Americans, Social Security is the basis for their retirement and their retirement savings. And for 28 million Americans, Social Security is the only thing that they have. And that's why we have to make sure that we are protecting it as well.
Doesn't even know where he is. I don't even know where he is.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Yeah, his time has expired. You know, his time in office has expired. We don't want him to expire while in office. I mean, I'm being serious. This is ridiculous. Like I said, where's the dignity here? If that was my grandfather, I'm saying, Grandpa, it's time to go. It's time to just come home and relax. This guy's been in office since 1999. We're talking 26 years now. We're at 13 terms. Come on. And these people running our government, running it into the ground. This is what's going on. Put somebody with some guts, put some serious term limit legislation on the floor once. We hear about it all the time. Can somebody just put some serious term limit legislation on the floor of Congress, please? Maybe something that we can actually have a real conversation about getting passed. But like I said in the beginning, they'd be basically writing themselves out of a career. And they've made we know they make millions of dollars. No matter how many laws you put in place with trading and all of a sudden, they still manage to make millions of dollars. They all come out millionaires while making $170,000 a year. It's impossible. It's impossible to come out a millionaire if you weren't already. If you go into Congress not being a millionaire, it's impossible on that salary to come out a millionaire, but they all do. Every one of them. How? This is why they don't want to give it up. This is why they don't want term limits, because this has turned into an industry. That's what being a politician is now. It's an industry. It's an industry. It's a corrupt industry. But the joke's on us. The joke's on us. We're the ones getting affected by them. And we have this going on with these people. Again, everybody gets old. This isn't an ageist kind of argument. Everybody gets old. It's reality. It's part of life. Okay? There's going to come a day when I'm not going to be sitting behind this microphone and be able to rattle off stuff that you either like or you hate, as quickly as I'm doing right now. And I have my moments, and I'm 51. But I couldn't imagine being in my late 70s, 80s, trying to think on my feet, being there all day, trying to, you're dealing with important stuff here. This is no joke. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments. What term limits would you like to see? Me personally, I think 18 years in the Senate. That's 3 terms. I think 18 years in the House, 9 terms. That's fair. Supreme Court justices, 25 years. 25 years. We already have term limits for president. We don't have an age limit where, we don't have a time where you can't run, you can't be president. We don't have that. We don't have the max. We don't have a max age president yet. Should we? After Biden, I think we should. But again, then you have a person like Trump, who's just the exception to the rule, who has, like I said, more energy than anybody. But that is again, as I've said, the rare exception is Donald Trump. Most people don't have any business being president in their late 70s and 80s. Even Ronald Reagan, by the end of his second term, many people now acknowledge he was in the early stages of Alzheimer's. So, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you watching. It's a discussion that we seem to have all the time, and nothing ever seems to come of it. But now it's at the point, like I said, where these people now there's so many of them that just never leave, that we're seeing this more and more frequently now. And the longer we let this go, the more we're going to see this. So tell me what you think. I appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.